Hey, my name is Cabbage and welcome back to the channel. This is a sequel to my first Taiwan vlog where I talked about what travel vlogging means to me. If you want the full context, I suggest watching that first. This video is designed to be a little bit more laid back, it's probably going to be longer. I'm going to show you the best parts of what I captured in Taiwan and how I feel about capturing the memories I made. Everything you're about to watch was taken on one of these cameras, and I'll do my best to share important details when they're important. I've also added chapters to this video in case you want to jump around, since I get fairly deep into what I want to discuss. I hope you enjoy. This is my first sequel on the channel, so I'm excited too. When I'm packing for a trip, my first thought is to always think about what I'm going to capture. Are there any things on the itinerary that necessitate a certain piece of equipment, a certain camera? If the event or thing is so specific that I'm only going to use the camera once, is it worth bringing at all? Once I can tell myself that I'll use a piece of gear for at least 50% of the trip, it goes in the suitcase. This gets significantly easier if you only have one camera, and I think that's why a lot of folks tell you to really stick to one camera when starting out. Being too caught up in what camera to use can really distract you from capturing the stuff while you're traveling. Plus, the idea is to be present while you're abroad since vacations are temporary. For a lot of people, that one camera is your phone, and I think that's a pretty fantastic place to start. To be completely honest, hitting record on your native camera app, Android or Apple, can get you like 90% of the way there. A lot of the camera community will tell you that you have to use this camera brand or this app, or use this preset pack or buy this creator's course and so on. But I understand that being professional or super aesthetic isn't worth the time investment for some folks. You just need to create some memories. Truly, if you wanted a homework assignment, just press record and start looking through the screen or the viewfinder. This is probably the best way to start improving right away. When I first started, it was like on my PSP or something, so there was no raw footage, there was no manual settings, it was just like a camera, and in fact I think it was an add-on. Cameras work differently than our eyes, so you have to learn a different way of seeing the world. Luckily, you've probably been watching TV or movies since you were young, so you have a pretty good idea of what looks good and what looks bad. In fact, I bet you're critiquing my footage right now. That's a great start. I hope you keep it up. Something I've really been liking about the new iPhone is that it comes with 4 separate lens options, the 12, 24, 48, and 120mm. That's a game changer. For the Taiwan trip, I ditched a proper camera and tripod for my phone, and this OSMO Pocket tripod. The decrease in weight allows me to travel a lot freer, and I'm not swinging like $7,000 for my neck, I'm not adding 15 pounds to my daily walks or bike rides, and people don't recognize that I'm actually shooting 10-bit Apple log that will be processed like Sony footage. Like I mentioned in my iPhone first impressions, that's a crazy reality to be living in. I'm not trying to be like super unk about it, but that's great tech. To be super nitpicky, and because everyone knows that I'm the drama, here's what I noticed on the trip that I actually didn't like. The 5x lens is always a little soft. It's not optically as sharp as like a proper telephoto lens. If I could compare it to anything, I feel like it's maybe the first 70-200 Canon EF I owned, but that thing on its own weighs like 10 times more than the iPhone. So the trade-off, I feel like, has to be made somewhere. Audio is another really big pain point for me. I absolutely despise that I cannot control more of the audio input from the Blackmagic app. It is really restricted to the native app. Of course, you can film log on the native app, but then you lose out on all the manual settings. It's almost infuriating because I'm finally learning how to properly treat my audio in my videos. If you've seen any of my old school projects, you've probably noticed that the VO wasn't really good back then. It's a shame that I don't have more control there. And Blackmagic, I beg of you, please give me Apple Watch remote capabilities. I know it seems far-fetched, but I love that I can remote control my camera from my watch. Please just do it. Everyone will love you for it, and I would feel like a Power Ranger, so that feels pretty awesome. Speaking separately from the iPhone itself, if you're looking to level up your travel content, the very basic thing you could use is a small tripod. Nothing fancy, it's just to be able to stand your phone. What I really like to see when I watch travel content is when the actual creator is in the footage. I can only watch images of architecture and culture for so long until it becomes very monotone. The reason I clicked onto your video is because I hope that you are in it. I know I'm being a little hypocritical because I'm doing a commentary right now, so I'm not technically in any of the footage, but whenever you can place yourself inside your vlog, that's what makes it yours. And if you're like me, and very shy about asking people around you to film you, a tripod will never judge you. The second and last thing that I would recommend, especially if you're planning to shoot manually, is a variable ND filter. Look, there's tons of discussion online about what the best one is. things to think about like ND range and banding and all that. But the point is that you need a way to compensate for your natural environment. And the most natural footage always has some nice motion blur to it. In a pinch, I do agree, just crank up your shutter speed and capture the moment. But don't tell anyone I said that. Everything else is super supplementary. I was supposed to get some inflatable lights in the mail before I left to Taiwan. I was gonna use them to probably spice up the talking head in my past video, but they never came. An easy fix that I used was just to find a window, or shoot outdoors where the light is. An essential part of vlogging to me is like to be crafty. No one is expecting you to be a production team Iron Man on your trip to the Bahamas or like Japan or something. To be honest, I really can't tell if that tip is for me or for you. Ah well.
传了吗？
所以加饭，这是冷饭是不是？
热饭也可以，冷饭一定要热饭呐。嗯。这个我早上煮起来的。来，自己辣椒有，蒜丝有。
哇，就在这边做。对呀、
因为你快速的炒会有烟囱，所以要炒饭要在外面炒。
嗯，是那个烟呐、
对呀、这个会有烟。啊。来，你把我门关起。
这个门啊。哇，大火。
拍照呀。
我爸想看。
你爸爸脸来。
哦，不好意思。
一点味素哈，不要盐巴，酱油就好了。你就给它弄散这样子，哈。先小火哈，这样子。
嗯，这算小火啊？
这样，对啊，现在因为这是快速卤的，所以现在先小火。那我现在要开大火了。口感就不一样，那个香气就不一样。
那就不一样了，对。
很简单呐。
哇哦！
这就好了。
哇，不算2分钟哎。啊？对啊，分钟，对。
这样很快呀。
哇哦！
对，这样子了，有没有？对啊，这样子啊。
对啊。哇哦，做好哎！
很简单的，这样给你学到了啊。
学到了。
对，跟那样子，然后后来再开大火，这样子。
I could probably go on and on about the optical quality or the practicality of vlogging minimally, but there's an X factor that I really wanted to test out during the trip, which was anonymity. Let's face it, the very fact that I'm doing this commentary suggests that there is some abundance of travel content online. And if you feel pressured to not be perceived like an influencer or content creator, it can be hard to put yourself in front of a camera or even vlog in the first place. Not all of us are born Casey Neistat. It's a muscle that some of us have to train. A lot of the advice out there is to just kind of get out of your comfort zone and all that kind of stuff. But that can be hard. I don't believe that advice is universal. I feel like some of us need to take it step by step rather than just sort of saying, get out of your comfort zone or vlog right away. We need a way to be able to build to that. And I think that's what minimal gear affords us. We can kind of skirt by as tourists or regular people taking a little video and not be perceived at that moment.
Style. I forgot to order anything.
Wow.
Right? They are having the time of their lives right now. This guy's got a dual camera. What the hell? You 要一张吗？ 我觉得他很帅哎。
对啊，哎，你看你被拍了，
喜欢吗？可以吗？
我拍他，我拍他，你拍我。
好。
Over many days of acting in front of the camera or posing or talking back to your phone, we build the calluses of shamelessness that all your favorite content creators have. And once we get a little more comfortable, we can probably start to get advanced. So let's say you're rocking a BlackBerry still and you need a dedicated vlogging camera, like the DJI OSMO Pocket 3. The core philosophy that I've been describing doesn't actually change. You just get to have the pleasure of learning a whole new tool that will absolutely change your life. But the question I pose to you is, are you actually going to take the time and learn and master this new tool? That's why I buried this section of the video in the middle, because I solemnly do not believe that the average person will. All of us want the hyper aesthetic travel footage, but want to put zero effort into it. How do I know this? Well, because that's me. So why not just use something you already are familiar with, your phone, and not drop $800 on something you'll end up reselling on Facebook Marketplace? Or, I don't know, like Craigslist or something. Like a lot of skills in life, you probably don't need to invest heavily up front to get good at it. Photography and content are the poster childs of this. I get more entertainment from my friends dancing in Times Square on TikTok than I get from watching the 900th travel vlog on the Pocket 3 that doesn't really even leverage the gimbal capabilities. You still with me? Okay, great. Then you're serious about this. To be quite honest, I'm still not a master of this device yet, and I've had it for about 8 months now. If you're willing to be the Anakin to my Obi-Wan, I'll explain my experience. The combination of using the public bikes in Taiwan and this camera were quite exciting. The bikes give you a lot more speed and it takes away some of the Z-axis bobbing you would get walking. I've seen lots of videos online showing you how to ninja walk. It takes some practice. You're going to look a little silly, but the results are quite worth it. If you're going to try and get smoother shots, I recommend turning the sensitivity on the gimbal way down, including the joystick. Another thing I need to emphasize is please to take care of the damn thing. This is not your regular camera. There are motors and sensors. A couple drops could mean that your camera never fully recenters and you're left with footage that looks like this. It's delicate and beautiful, so please treat it as such. In terms of accessories, prepare to get a new tripod because the one it comes with is like way too long. It literally becomes no longer pocketable, and I hate having to put it together like a gun every single time I want to shoot. For all my nerds, setting the camera up in auto forever is actually not bad. I feel like my footage is really usable. However, manual settings will always make your stuff better. And with manual settings comes ND filters. But this brings me to a point I made in my vlog that I only wrote down, which is why the absolute hell can I not get view assist in DLog-M? And also, why is DLog-M not supported in DaVinci's FLC? Like, guys, what are we doing here? There are a lot more cons that I could list out, many of which I'm just repeating from other creators, but the core takeaway I want you to consider is, should travel vlogging and vlogging in general be so expensive? Is your desire to be artful or learn videography? Or do you just want to capture memories? I'm making a video about this very dilemma soon, but my point is that your memories should be accessible. So why are we putting a premium on it, both financially and creatively? The last topic I want to touch on before I wrap things up is fairly introspective. Who are you and how do I find you in your content? Every time I make a video, whether I like it or not, I can visually and emotionally feel the stamp of my very soul on that video. I know it sounds stupid and contrived, but I genuinely believe it. Think of your favorite creators. No one does them exactly like them. And all the copycats, well, they eventually become themselves. If you focus too hard on trying to fit a specific shape, in my opinion, the result might not feel genuine and you might hate it. So be yourself. Shoot what you want. Use that silly camera that no one else uses or is outdated or whatever. Edit well or not at all. And through it all, I guarantee that you'll find yourself in your content and actually give a fuck about it once it's done and over with. My platform doesn't really exist right now, and I don't think I'll achieve my every goal by the time this is uploaded. So I have to find a way to inspire myself to keep making the stuff that I want to make. Part of that is actually enjoying the process to some degree and enjoying what I shoot. Content creation is hard. Some people are very natural at it, others aren't so. But that doesn't mean it's inaccessible for everyone. A few months into the journey now, I can definitely say there are ups and downs. But I try and find the small wins when they come, and I can feel myself improving every time I upload. So give it a go. And come back and tell me when you're done because I would love to see all the wonderful things you get up to. I love Taiwan. It's my favorite place to go to. And whenever I have the chance of traveling, that's kind of my immediate thought. It's funny to say this because even when I haven't been to a certain country or place before, I still default to Taiwan, which is maybe shows my bias a little, but I do recommend it if you haven't been yet. I should probably wrap up this conversation on travel vlogging and stuff like that because honestly, I've probably beaten this to death. So maybe we should table this conversation for now. Thank you so very much for watching. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And also, I really just want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently and viewed the videos. It really makes my day and really makes me excited to make more stuff. So I just want to shout you guys out. I really appreciate you and I'll see you all soon. All right, bye.